I get to talk to a lot of incredible entrepreneurs, and John Davidsson is one of them. On this episode of Giant TV, I have an awesome discussion with John about his business. He is a career transitional coach, does a lot of great things for his clients, and also he is a handler of Komodo dragons, and you're going to learn about that. I saw that on his LinkedIn profile. Had to ask him. Great discussion. Let's go check it out. Hi, everybody. This is Paul Hitchcock, founder and president of Giant Jacks Media. This is Giant TV, and where I get to interview really incredible people. This is us here. This is our headquarters, Giant Jacks Media. We're in Southern California, Orange County, helping people across the country, and really fired up to have John Davidsson here. John, welcome.
Thank you very much, Paul. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we got
Hello to the internet.
Hello to the internet.
Hello to the internet.
Yeah, we got connected, and this is about you and your business. I got you up here on LinkedIn. You and I chatted a bit, but you're doing some interesting things. I got to start with this, John. You have it up on your profile, so it's fair to ask about it. You say that you are semi-professional wrangler of lizards. What is
Dragon
going on
Wrangler.
there?
Dragon Wrangler. Yes, it's a great story because I love animals. And actually, so I have a law degree. So back in the day, it was kind of wild. Washington State Bar Association asked, it was my mentor at the time to do an animal law symposium. So I had to write this article, and I've had dogs and cats and whatnot. But then it came up where we needed to basically take care of a bearded dragon as a rescue animal. And I'd never had an exotic animal, no birds or anything. I had fish, dogs, cat. And it's like, wow, this is a dragon.
Yeah,
and,
different.
So really different. Oh my gosh, you just have, and it was kind of funny. I was like, well, Dragon Wrangler, just kind of some of the things I help folks deal with, whether it's their career or negotiating offer letters. Surprisingly enough, the domain was alive and I could get the .com, and I'm like, I'm buying that. It was probably like $6.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's mine now. I am Dragon Wrangler. I even made stickers. I kid you not. If you go to my website, just to kind of prove to my clients, like, I can do e-commerce, right? And they do not sell like hotcakes, but I do have stickers and shirts.
Oh, that's comedy.
For Olympic resume, but it makes a really neat sticker and a t-shirt, I think. But true. So it's kind of like slaying dragons or dealing with, legal problems or big challenges in life. But it also has roots in, yes, she passed away last year. So there's that. So I'm a little rough, but yes, it's right on there. And it's funny how many folks are just like, they want help with their career shifts or their pivots or whatnot, but they'll point that out.
Yeah, they'll point that out. Yeah,
so I saw that. It's right up there on LinkedIn. So
it's great. Well, it's a great transition into what you do. And so you're a career coach, career counselor, but describe for us exactly who you're helping and what you're focused on.
I'd be happy to. Yes. So my approach has been to kind of take clients as I find them. And so that's kind of my legal training, if you will, right? So I went to a Jesuit law school, Seattle U, and they treat it more as a counseling degree, right? You don't need to be suing everybody. There are lots of great things we can do to help folks. And so I really enjoy employment law, but most folks come to me in a kind of a crossroads. And a lot of times they're employed, but maybe they want to stay in their career path or their current employer, but many times they don't. And there's a pivot that they may want to discuss. So I'm happy to work with computer programmers or aerospace professionals or executives, or even folks kind of out of college or out of grad school, and really try to understand them, kind of their past, present, and future. So my approach hasn't been to put on blinders and only work with accountants or only work with programmers. I mean, Seattle is a wonderful area. We got lots of diverse, wonderful employers, kind of heavy on the tech side of things. But I tell my clients, I need to become more of an expert at you and what you want to do. And I have lots of wonderful reviews. So I literally nudge folks, please don't ask me if I've worked with folks like you, because I have to say no. I really do. Everybody's unique. So background, and you may not want to do what you've been doing. So a lot of folks don't want to stay in their lane. And I don't really love that phrase. It's kind of like, oh, you actually do want to make a shift or a pivot. Let's talk about that. Or Sometimes folks might want to even talk about starting a business, the side hustle to the main hustle kind of thing. And I'm great. I'm
Yeah.
just as happy to help you build a pitch deck as a business plan. Most folks are looking for a new role. So, I mean, we're talking resumes, cover letters, and the tactical elements, LinkedIn, of course. So
Yeah. So John, but so there's recruiters that are placing people in jobs. People, the recruiters have the relationships. That's not you. You're working on somebody says, really helping them, it sounds like, to identify what their next move could be. Maybe they're not sure. And then as you get to that decision, making sure they're tight in all the pieces that need to be tight in order to get that position. Is that a fair way to describe it?
I think that's pretty fair, right? So I'm agnostic. Yeah. And I say, so one way that I phrase it to clients a lot of times is if you have some jobs in mind that are specific, you want to go after these jobs, maybe
Yeah.
Amazon or Microsoft or Starbucks corporate or Boeing or whatnot. Great. Okay, then I'll probably put on my career coach hat. Now it's block and tackle time. That's a
Okay.
job description. We need to talk resume, cover letter, LinkedIn. How do you get your foot in that door, right? Or
Hmm.
maybe I've got some connections to help you. But if it's more like, I'm not really sure, maybe I want to work at Microsoft, but in what capacity? Well, then I might have to put on more of a career counselor hat on, right?
Okay.
And that's more of an exploration. Or,
Yeah.
John, I'm done with private sector. I want to do public sector. Like, oh, great. That's a bit more of a shift or a kind of a bigger pivot. Um, and every once in a while, folks will hire me to stay within their current employer. They're up for promotion, but it's competitive.
Oh,
They've got
oh,
to get, they got to have a portfolio ready. And it's like, yeah, it may not be as easy as you think to get that promotion internally. Hopefully it's simple and it's easy. But what if it's more competitive than you think it is? Right? Especially if it's a higher level role. Maybe you're managing
yeah.
more people, or maybe now you would be managing a team.
Hmm.
Great. So I just try to keep that open mind to really understand what folks want to do. So a lot of times I'll just tell clients, I'll keep my mouth shut and just listen,
Just listen. Yeah.
do my best to guide. So there we go. But if that
Yeah.
helps a bit, I think that distinction between coaching and counseling helps.
Yeah.
It
Definitely.
helps me kind of, mentally and tactically think through what when do I keep my mouth shut? When do I kind of nudge someone this way, or guide them in a direction?
Yeah. And so, John, what does that engagement look like? So somebody comes to you, I mean, are they filling out a worksheet prior to getting with you? How long does the engagement last? And what does that look like?
It's always a bit different. Great question, though. So initially, I tell everyone, if you were referred to me, found me through LinkedIn, however, please book an intro call. I've never
Okay.
charged for those. Please do that. And it blocks out, it's funny, it's 15 to 30 minutes because some folks come to me and they've had a bad experience with a resume mill or with maybe an outplacement firm. And
Yeah.
that's been happening more than ever the last couple of years. And I'm like, okay, I don't bite. It can be 15 minutes, it can be 30 minutes. I don't charge for that because I have to. I really believe I have to do that.
You got to get to know them a bit and find out what's going on. It's exploratory, right?
I think so. I think so. It's kind of like an auto mechanic. Let's bring the car in. What are you hearing? What are you smelling? What are you seeing? I'm not going to charge you yet. I haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, but
But
if you can find me an auto mechanic that doesn't charge for the initial assessment, I'm taking my car there.
I think that, yeah, it's kind of like that 50-point inspection they do. So it's kind of like,
Damn
okay,
it.
like, some folks don't have a resume when they
Right.
reach out. Some folks
Yeah.
have a LinkedIn profile, but they can't get into it, or they haven't used it forever, or
Hmm.
they've got a second profile they didn't even realize. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they forgot about one.
Right.
Some folks are really with it though. Here's the resume they've been using. They're not seeing the results. They're getting ATS blocked, what have you. They've got a LinkedIn presence. So I'm just kind of trying to get a feel for where they're at and what
Okay.
materials. So I tell folks, if you want to send me items, great, I'll take a look. If you don't, that's okay. A
And
lot of folks, go ahead, excuse me.
yeah, no, as I said, then you start working with them. It's you come together, you say, okay, I can help you. Then what is it? Is it all over the map too? Or is there a 90-day thing? Is it a year-long thing? Or does it just depend?
It depends. It's usually about 90 days or less because most folks are going to have some kind of a tactical move they want to make.
Right,
So if
right.
they're already in career search mode, we might have to talk about, well, how much longer do you want this career search to last? Or is it more of a job search? You need to find a job. And
Yep,
sometimes
yep.
it's defined by dollars and cents and all that. But a lot of times it's going to be less than 6 months. A lot of times it's more like 90 days or so to
Hmm.
look for roles, get into the interviews and interview prep. So that's why I do it hourly. I do a retainer style.
Got
So
it. Got it.
the minimum is 5 hours, but my average is about 10 to 15. So I'll say, great, we've got a block of time for our workshops. And those are going to be one-on-one workshops. And I
Okay.
mean work, that's work. Like I will help you build a new resume. You will see it on the screen.
Hmm.
And because some people, they've had maybe a career coach or they've gotten some just kind of general advice, but they have to do all the work. So it's like I can help you with LinkedIn, your cover letters, your resume. You still have to apply to those jobs though.
Right.
To your point, I'm not a recruiter. I don't have jobs. I don't get a commission if you take this job or that job. So if you want to take a pay cut, maybe, and see your kids more or have more of your work-life balance back, as long as you're happy and it gets back to your goals and blueprint, I'm happy.
Yep. What would you say are a couple things that you say, hey, you just got to make sure you have these, they're looking great. Like, is there something that stands out for everybody when they're trying to move up?
So in terms of kind of their materials
Yeah,
or
materials. Is it the LinkedIn profile is really important more than the resume, or your resume's got to be looking great? Is it, yeah, what is it that you say?
so make sure we don't have any weak links. It's a great question. I was just at an event last week, Risk Management Association. Somebody came up to me, resume or LinkedIn? Which one really makes the difference? Both likely. I mean, if you want to apply to really any employer in the world, they're probably going to ask for a resume at a minimum.
They are.
They may or may
Okay.
not ask for a cover letter. But a lot of times, what you're seeing in applications, public sector, private sector, is paste in your LinkedIn profile as you apply. And so it's kind of funny how many folks, their resume doesn't actually have a LinkedIn link on it, even in 2024. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We
Yeah.
clicked over, I believe it was December 2023. One of my contacts at LinkedIn, 1 billion registered users on LinkedIn.
Wow.
1 billion. So there
Wow.
might be more people looking at LinkedIn, but that's billion with a B. So probably we want to make sure that they're consistent and they're both
Yeah.
razor sharp. So
Yeah,
when
because I'm amazed. Like I recently was talking to this professional, this woman. I looked at her LinkedIn profile, crappy. I mean, there's no banner on there, didn't take the time. And I'm like, you're really polished. You're good at what you do. I can't believe her LinkedIn profile looked horrible. I mean, they just didn't get it. No one had ever advised her. You got to put your A game on over there.
I couldn't agree more, right? In
Yeah.
almost any professional, any industry. And so I kind of nudge clients, think like, can you imagine any employer offering you a job without checking out LinkedIn?
No,
I
no.
can't. I mean, it could be a nonprofit, a government agency, a Fortune 500. That'd be ludicrous. That'd be like hiring somebody maybe without doing an actual background check.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you could be a teacher, an astronaut, a programmer. LinkedIn is so often the entree because, some folks I work with, they don't want to do Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, what have you, but I'm like, maybe LinkedIn is almost mandatory. It's like
Yeah,
it doesn't bite. Maybe let's at least try it and check
yeah,
it up. And a lot of folks don't even realize like they'll have, intel on their resume that's not consistent with LinkedIn.
yeah.
And like that will not fly. Be very, very careful with that. Dates are a little bit off, titles are a little, maybe you've seen that too. You're looking at somebody's resume and then you look at LinkedIn. So, but it may save you having to build like a website. Like, do you need to have a website?
Oh,
Maybe
yeah, good
not.
point. Yeah,
But LinkedIn, yeah, you can do live events, you can do videos, and you have it up too. You can pronounce your name on LinkedIn. You can do a
right.
brief audio greeting.
Yeah,
My last name gets misspelled all the time, right? SSON.
yeah,
So just even people can hear your voice, they know how to pronounce your name. It's a little bit more interactive. We kind of go beyond that resume, but
totally,
both
totally.
really important. Great question. I'll keep
Yeah,
rolling on some of your questions. Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
No, I love it.
I
Well,
have to tap your watch.
well, when you go, so when you're working with people, what do you get out of it the most, and what motivates you? Is it, helping people, or what exactly do you take away that you love doing?
I love doing the work. I think we were talking to earlier. It's so many folks get referred to me, which is great, and
Yeah,
you do have to do kind of the marketing and to land the clients. And so I love doing the work. So it's a lot of fun. It's very rewarding because on a certain level, and I've told this story to clients many, many times. They get the job, they're happy, we negotiated it, they won. It's like the Olympic athletes out there. They're great athletes, and the coach is just off to the sideline, right?
Yeah,
Kind
yeah.
of arms like this and just kind of, frowning a lot of times. So maybe I'm 5 or 10% of the net effect, but when folks write recommendations, that's worth their weight in gold. I love that. It's a lot of pride and satisfaction because what I do is, it's the real world, right? There's no guarantee you'll get that job, and then we got to negotiate, and it's a lot of kind of fudginess. And of course, clients pay me, which is great. Without my clients, I don't have a job. So
Yeah,
I tell my clients, you are my boss. I have lots of bosses at any one time. You're my boss. So you can snap your fingers, and I'll try to help you with that.
And you're in the greater Seattle area, right?
Yes, sir. Right.
Working with clients everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I've been referred all over the country, which is great, but most of my clients are somewhere in Seattle or at least the Pacific Northwest. So they might be in Portland, they might be in Spokane. But a lot of folks will hire me when they're kind of thinking about putting Seattle on their target list, which I think is great. I mean, it's a great city to be in. So if you're in San Francisco and you're thinking about coming here, well, maybe I'm a little bit more of a local expert, but I think there's some value in that. But I'm happy to help folks in other time zones. It's just my calendar is locked to Pacific time. So there we go. So we're both West Coast here.
Right. Yeah.
So I might be biased. I mean, maybe the West Coast is the best coast. Maybe. I love the East Coast too. That's fine. But yeah, I'm originally from Spokane. So
yeah, you got a little bias.
So I might be a little biased.
I love it.
Statement, but
yeah, no, listen, I love it. We could talk forever on this. I want to tell people listening that again, John's information is going to be around this video. Good guy to know. And I know, John, we're the same. I like building a network, building relationships, because you never know. Good things happen when you talk to people. So you're a good guy to know. I'm glad we're doing this. Well, I know we'll be talking again, and really appreciate you coming on board.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, I think we're kindred spirits. I tell my clients, I don't have customers, I have clients. And I think there's a difference there.
Big time.
It helps remind me, like, that's a real person you're working with. They have real hopes and dreams. Yeah, you could say they're a customer, but it's a client relationship. And that absolutely keeps me up at night and gets me out of bed in the morning.
Yep. Echo exactly what I believe. All right. Thanks, John.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye.